This is the Player 4 Podcast. Join us each week as we talk about video games, entertainment, and pop culture, and bring in guests from the Rooster Teeth community. Player 4 has entered the game.
Player 4 with your friends.
That's like the Transformer theme.
We are.
Well, I was trying to.
That is getting remixed.
It was a coming back commercial break. Player 4 with your friends. Transformers, robots in disguise.
I was trying to get a Pokemon thing kind of sound.
Don't go
to
anywhere. Player 4 will be right back after these messages.
Who's that Player 4?
Yeah, name that Player 4.
Sky. Sky.
It's
Start your freaking introductions.
Malak Sky.
if that gets put in there, I'm already thinking of what I'm doing something.
Introduce
I'm definitely
yourself,
remixing
people.
it.
Do it. Just introduce yourselves.
Let's do Pokemon style intros.
Oh.
Hello, I am Tristan, aka Shagrazir, on the Player 4 podcast.
I said
what?
Pokemon, and you screwed it up doing it the other way.
and you still screwed it up. Everyone knows you're Tristan, aka Shackers here, on the Player 4 podcast. You're literally on the podcast right now.
I feel really bad.
I think it's just you still laughing from earlier.
Tristan.
Are you okay?
Joseph, how are we supposed to do Pokemon introductions?
Tristan, Shagrazir, Rooster Teeth website.
No, because the Pokemon only say one thing, and that's basically
Yeah,
the
but
name.
we're smarter than Pokemon.
The logic. Do not argue with it. Hello, I am Tristan, aka Shagrazir, on the Rooster Teeth website.
Nailed it.
Hey.
I am Alex, aka Chaos Black 21.
I'm Malachi, aka Sukikiba.
Joseph. See, I did it like Pokemon.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, no, do the whole thing.
I'm Joseph, and on the Rooster Teeth website, my username is J Dunlap. You should go stalk me.
All you users of the Rooster Teeth website, who's that Player 4? It's Joseph.
Joseph.
That
There you
featured
go.
user.
Perfect. Nailed it.
So, Tristan,
Okay.
Thor, what's the topics?
The topics for tonight, Joseph MTG Judge stuff. I guess Joseph did some Magic the Judging. Then we were going to talk about Joseph Pokemon stuff, which includes Blue and a card game and a Go. Then a new phone for Joseph. Then Malachi wants to talk about his final fantasies in life. And then we were going to talk about some Spiderman, some Spiderman Homecoming, and some Thor Ragnarok. Then we were going to get the flip out of here.
I like how you make it sound like Malachi's actually fantasizing instead of talking about the literal game. You're trying to make it sound like a pun.
I was waiting for you the whole time because there was so much Joseph for you that you would just keep saying it. So you'd be like, Joseph, Final Fantasy, Joseph. Homecoming, and Joseph Ragnarok.
Joseph, Magic, Joseph, Pokemon, Joseph, Fun, Phone, Malachi, Game, Spiderman, please.
Spiderman, please.
Those are the topics. Killed Joseph. Podcast over.
Hey guys, you know what I did this weekend?
No.
Did you watch Spiderman, please?
No, I did. Is it something I can watch? I thought it was a Twitter account.
Darn.
You can watch the Twitter account. I mean, that is possible.
I think it's called
Yeah.
following. I think you can
Yeah.
follow the Twitter account.
No, you can literally have it on your screen and you just
Are you
watch
sure you can't literally have it on your screen?
No, just literally, not literally.
So this is a spillover from D&D yesterday. All right. So Saturday I did some Magic Judge stuff. So here's the backdrop for this story. I've been wanting to become a Magic Judge for well over a year, and it involves practice tests on a website, like the easy ones, and then you do the difficult ones, and those are once monthly because you have to sign into an account. And then it involves a mentorship. And I wasn't sure what it was entailed in the mentorship, but I knew two L2 judges, level 2 judges. One is where you get certified. 0 is where maybe you're helping out at an F&M. And then like 2 is where you can actually administer a test to others and run your own tournaments. Well, one of them lived not far from me until he moved a year ago, which is rude to just move. And then another one lived in Fort Worth, which is 2.5 hours away. And then he rudely moved to Houston. And then there's an L1 judge that I know whose wedding I played for, and he lives like 2 hours away, which is rude. So I got the contact info for the regional coordinator a few months ago, and I told him my situation, and he said, you know, this is a bad time, and you live in a bad place for mentorship. He had recently taken the helm of the regional coordinator job for southern U.S.,
Sure.
Like, he was previously, like, the West Texas representative, and now he's the coordinator. And also, Brownwood, where I live, is the middle of nowhere.
Nowhere. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but it sounds like you're telling me he came to you and said no and no, and don't ever talk to me again.
He was expressing how difficult it will be, but not impossible. He said, tell you what, we're working on distance learning, and you can do mentorship that way. I kept hearing from people who hadn't actually done it, that you had to judge tournaments alongside your mentor so they could observe you. And then he said, well, come to this conference that we're doing in Waco, south of Dallas, and we'll get you started. So I carpooled with some guys that work at a store 2 hours away that I'm on the way. Basically what it amounts to is mentorship is simply someone guiding your preparation. That's all it means. It could be anyone that's L1 or higher. In fact, it's encouraged for L1s to mentor because it's part of the process of becoming an L2. I've got like 5 judges all offering to help mentor me at the same time that are all not here. The only requirement is when I take the exam, it has to be administered by an L2. So that's my story. I had a good time. The judges that are certified got $200 worth of promo cards, which I was like, meh, because I'm not certified yet. But the next time I go, I will be taking the exam, and hopefully I'll pass it on the first try, and I get to be a judge. So that's the thing that I wanted to talk about Magic.
I have one question.
All right.
So, being a judge, do you get a shirt with black and white stripes, or do you get like a black robe and a white like puffy wig that you can wear?
Your first one is a referee.
Yeah, because I mean, I
think
kind
they're
of see
called
them as a
judges when
referee,
in football.
Are they? I thought they were referees. Baseball is umpire.
Yeah.
Anyway, no.
Yeah. Well, no, line judge. There's a
Line judges in tennis.
Either
You think I
way.
know more? My dad is a basketball and volleyball referee
Maybe
that he traveled all over Texas.
Maybe he's a judge from Final Fantasy.
Okay, I would like to answer the question eventually.
No.
So there's different variations of the shirt, but basically it's black with the word MTG Judge on it.
But you don't even get a wig, like a white wig that you can.
I suppose
wear
I
with
could
a gavel.
cosplay.
I think
Can
he's
you
telling
have
us he
a
got like a
gavel?
members only jacket, and he's telling us he's cooler than us because of it.
No, it doesn't
Well, I
have
don't
all
have
the
the shirt yet.
elements. It has to. Does it have all the land symbols on it?
That would be cool. I'm pretty sure it just says Magic the Gathering Judge on it.
Lame.
There's different versions, like some have like red stripes on the side and stuff like that. But I'm going to go with just a plain black with black pants.
Oh man, I'd get something cool. The people would say, "Oh, what's the point of the red stripes on the side of the thing?" I'd be like, "It's because I'm a better judge than other judges.
It's because I'm
Are the
faster.
stripes
The
are
racing
the
stripes.
maybe because based off of level?
It makes me
A
judge
judge?
faster."
No, it's just that you know how some shirts will have a color off to the side underneath the armpit all the way down to the bottom?
Mm.
It's just red along the side. That's the one I saw some people wearing, and some people were wearing just plain black.
You should just tell people it means that you're a higher rank judge.
No, it means I'm faster.
What was the call? I just gave you the call. What?
I just gave it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I did on Saturday, and then on Sunday and Monday, I was on a trip,
Mhm.
a separate trip, and I went to the Austin area, and I was playing piano for all the choir kids that I've been playing for this semester for the high school nearby. A friend of mine who plays Magic, actually, is the choir director and needed a piano player. They took me to Six Flags a few weeks ago where I got some Pokemon dolls. They took me to Austin, and we went to Austin Parks and Pizza, and then the next day we were there for like 6 or more hours just having each of them perform for judges. It's a UIL type thing. That whole time I spent a good 6 or more hours playing Pokemon Blue on an emulator on my phone.
Phonulator.
So what you see, what I did here, I transitioned into the next topic.
I saw that. It did not get past me. I was too fast.
I would catch it.
I would catch it.
Now, did you
right.
actually get Pokemon stuffed animals or a Poké doll?
I don't know the difference.
Did you get a Voltorb?
No, I got a Charmander for myself and a Bulbasaur for Gina. They are stuffed with little styrofoam beads, but Gina's going to restuff them with actual stuffing so they'll be more durable.
But not a Squirtle for me?
No, I only got 2, and the plan is if I go again, I'll get the other 2 starters.
Is the other starter a Pikachu?
You are correct.
Okay.
Ding, ding, ding.
No.
So, guys, I've been playing Pokemon Blue for a few weeks.
What was
I may
your
have
starting
mentioned it.
Pokemon?
Charmander, Cha-Cha.
Cha-cha!
I mentioned it. Oh, yeah, a long time ago on the podcast, I talked about getting an emulator on the computer. I didn't like the way that it saved games. It was just like a Control F1, and I accidentally kind of saved over my save with the loading screen one time. It shouldn't be possible.
I don't know
to
what
do that.
emulator you got. I've been using the same emulator for like over a decade at this point.
Well, I also didn't like sitting at the computer to play Pokemon when I could play it on my phone. So a few weeks ago on my phone, my old one, I got an emulator, my old boy, and it's really good. I got Pokemon Blue on there. Just like a week ago, my phone started spazzing out hardcore. It would not do things for me. The middle of the screen, it would not respond, and then sometimes it would go, hey, guess what? Click, 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 click.
Click everything on the screen.
Yeah, it would just start clicking stuff in the middle or the bottom of the screen. So I was like, time for a new phone. And guess what? I lasted so long with this one. The new one I got is just leagues better. In fact, it's got one of the best batteries you can get for straight talk before you go up to like the high-end stuff. The battery lasted me from Sunday morning until Monday evening while I was playing Pokemon. But eventually it died because I forgot a charger. So, guys, I'm playing Pokemon Blue, and Alex and Malachi. I thought you guys might enjoy this especially because I know Tristan's probably played some, but you guys have like gone crazy talking about all the games that you've played for Pokemon. I am playing Blue. Gina's playing Red. There's not much difference, really.
Gina's playing the better one.
I've got a Charizard. I've got
Blue
a
is
Raichu.
better.
I've got a Doug Trio, Fearow, Gyarados, and Vaporeon.
All right.
And
Get rid of the Doug Trio and Fearow.
Yeah. That's
No, they're good.
And you don't need a Gyarados and a Vaporeon on the same team.
See, that's where you're wrong. Because I'm going to be facing an entire dragon trainer at the end. And Vaporeon is mostly ice attacks, and Gyarados is mostly water and lightning.
If you're facing a dragon-type trainer, water and lightning don't do that much. They do half damage.
That's why Vaporeon has mostly ice attacks.
So what? Then don't bring Gyarados!
I'm bringing Gyarados for the other trainers.
That also have dragon Pokemon, because it's a dragon gym.
Alex, I read up on the Final Four. I am prepared for the Final Four. I have the right 6 for the Final Four.
Oh, are you facing the Final Four? You said you were facing the gym.
What? I never said that.
Yes, you did.
I said one of the trainers that I'm going to face has dragons.
Alex has forgotten Gen 1.
No, I have. I remember Gen 1.
Wait, aren't they called the Elite Four?
Yes, they are called the Leaf.
I guess. I'm currently trying to get my way through that last BS cave with high spawn rates and all the trainers and everything, the boulders. Once I get through there, I get to go on to, I guess, Victory Road, and then I get to face the, Mighty Five.
The final countdown.
Hot
My
mess.
God.
The Elite Four, and then you fight Lance, who's the champion, and then freaking Blue or Red beat him just before he got there, so then you have to fight him afterwards.
Yeah, I called my rival Michael, my son, because he always trash talks me when we play cards. Alex,
He's already
I
gotten to
still
that
think you
stage.
should get rid of the Doug Trio and the Fearow, but that's just me.
based off what I read, they're going to be important for like one fight each. And I did think about other things, but they are really good. Like Doug Trio can usually one shot with Dig. Fearow can get close to that with Fly, as well as whatever that one thing is. I don't know. I don't remember.
I dominated my team, and I didn't even have any prerequisite knowledge.
Well, good for you. So I wanted to know, what were your final sixes, guys? What were your teams of sixes?
I mean, it's been a while since I played the original. Like I have Red on my 3DS, but I haven't finished it. I'm only like at the 7th gym, I think. But I usually went with Squirtle as my starter, and I would have a Kadabra. If I could trade with someone, it would be an Alakazam. Magmar I usually go with. Jolteon. I'm not sure what the other two would be.
No Gyarados?
No, I didn't usually care for Gyarados because I didn't feel like leveling up the Magikarp to level.
It's not difficult.
You
Back
just
then,
swap
it was
him
a little
out.
difficult because
You just
because I
put him
didn't
in
want to
the
have to
and then
swap him out.
Swap him, and then your next
Now
person
they-
takes a free hit
What?
to the
Now
face.
they make it so much easier because they're like, here you go, here's this Pokemon experience share that lets you share all your experience.
Yeah.
The XP share is
Level
so
up.
BS.
Yeah, but I didn't even. I had Gyarados by the time my Pokemon were around 25 or so. That's when I was like, I should see about Magikarp and see what it does, and it splashed. It was cool. I didn't get XP share until everything was like in the late 30s.
Experience share. In
There
the
is
old
no
game
XP
sucks.
share in Gen 1.
Yeah, there is.
Well, no, in Gen
There
1
is.
it is. It just sucks.
You have to have 50 Pokemon caught in your Pokédex. Then you meet up with the aide, and then he gives it to you. And then XP share takes half of the XP for the kill, and then gives it distributed among all the Pokemon, and then gives the rest to the Pokemon that were involved in the battle. So, like, Pikachu would get 1,000, then Pikachu would get 25, and everyone else would get 25, or something like that. I don't math good.
And the new one, people who are involved get like the full experience that they're supposed to, and then the ones that weren't involved just get. I don't think they get the full stuff, but they get a decent amount. Like you get way more than back when you had in the past.
I will admit, I used Splash about 3 times before I realized something was going on.
And the new ones, if you use Z Splash, it actually does something.
Yeah, in the
Splash
card
is
game, there's
banned.
actually a Ultra Splash or something.
Ultra Splash.
I don't know. It's a word
Splash
before
more.
Splash,
Splash harder.
and then it's like it'll deal 30 damage if you win a coin flip or something. Which, I mean, you don't play it for that. You play it to evolve it into a Gyarados EX or something. But I digress. Malachi, what's your favorite team of 6?
My favorite team for the most of the game, I can't remember who exactly I took to the end of the game, but my final group that I usually kept on me for moving around was Charizard, Pidgeot, Alakazam, Starmie,
Interesting.
Golem, and I think I had Gengar.
Let's see.
Seems pretty
I'm
powerful.
I'm looking at the Pokemon now.
Starmie I love because you could teach
Wow,
it.
he had all trade Pokemon. Look at this guy. He could trade with somebody.
Yeah, my cousin had the game too. My cousin.
I know
Yeah,
that
let's-
Gengar and Golem are both trade only.
And Alakazam,
and
right?
Alakazam too.
And Alakazam.
And Alakazam. I think there's one more. I thought there was 4 of them.
See, I thought I had Gengar, but I'm not fully sure. I know I had Golem and
Machamp is also trade.
Yeah.
So you're the only one out of the 3 of us that isn't doing an Eevee evolution.
Oh, I did.
Evolution.
I had Vaporeon myself. She was my first time ever evolving. I fell in love with
Vaporeon's the
Jolteon later.
best.
Yeah, I like Jolteon and Flareon better than Vaporeon.
Yeah.
But Vaporeon's a sack of hit points.
Vaporeon and then Flareon for me.
Starmie was like the most ridiculous Pokemon out of all the ones I had because I taught it Psychic, Thunder, and it had water attacks. So
Oh, that's
not
cool.
teach it Thunder. I teach it Thunderbolt.
Well,
I taught it a big attack for Electric. So my Starmie is like, oh hey, I'm fighting another water type. You're dead.
that's why Gyarados was so good. It could learn all 3 elements.
There's more than 3 elements.
But it learns all 3 of the,
Big killer moves.
like, Firebender type elements, except for Earth, I guess.
Firebender.
Oh, he can learn that in the newer
Earth
games.
is a
How did I say
firebender element,
firebender?
man.
Bender, I don't know, stuff, things.
Avatar. Best Airbender.
Yeah. So I got my new phone.
Gotcha.
So we
Okay.
can get out of the Pokemon topic. I realized there was enough room on there to get Pokemon Go again, so I've been playing that again. Been walking around, that kind of thing, trying to get the weight loss still going. I saw a picture of myself from January because the students that I play for at one point were like, "Mr. Dunlap, can you show us a picture of you without a beard?" And people were like, "He was born with a beard" and stuff like that. And I was looking on my phone, I was looking on Facebook, I was trying to find a picture, and then I realized I had taken a picture in January when I did the beard reboot. And I showed it to them. They're like, "Whoa!" And I looked at it and went, "Wow, I weighed like 14 pounds heavier at that point. I look so much different just like a few months later." So I'm trying to keep the weight loss going. I thought about it because my buddy that I'm walking with, because you can have a buddy that you walk with, and every kilometer you'll get a candy for working towards evolving them. Gyarados takes 200 candies to evolve, so my buddy is Magikarp, and he just sits there and flops next to me. That is phone stuff, and we briefly touched on the card game. And I wanted to talk about the card game. Malachi, have you ever played the Pokemon card game?
We already had
I
this
asked you-
discussion before, like in another podcast. Yes, I have.
Yeah, I asked you because I know you play Magic. So tell me about your Pokemon card game experience.
I was in line opening packs, and someone opened actually a Blastoise behind me. Totally pissed me off. But back actually when Pokemon first
I have a Blastoise.
back when it first came out, I actually got to go to. You remember when they used to have the places at like malls and stuff where you
I have
could
a
go
Blastoise.
and do
The Pokemon
gym
League
battles?
tournaments.
Yeah, and actually get stamps for badges. That was really cool.
Yep,
So
I remember that. I did that once.
We did not have those in St. Charles.
I have still on me all 3 sets, all the commons and uncommons, and then a good handful of rares.
Are they secret rares?
There wasn't such thing back then.
I kind of assumed there was. I just don't know.
No, there was
Well,
only
you didn't
rares.
have any of the super rares?
No, there was only foil and non-foil.
What about the super rares?
No,
No ultra rares?
I think we broke Malachi.
I have a fancy Vaporeon and a Dragonite
Well, that's pretty cool.
and a
Just messing
Kabutops.
with you.
Kabutops is my favorite. Like a lot.
Kabutops.
Kabutops.
So I asked because recently a friend of mine invited me to learn how to play the Pokemon card game.
It's really simple.
So he gave me a deck. So I was playing something that he'd already built, and I beat him.
Yeah.
And then a few weeks later, he was like, "Okay, so I'm learning Magic. So let's do a game of Pokemon, and then we'll do a game of Magic." So I had decks that he could play. He had decks that I could play.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me one that he had built, and then played one he was working on, and I beat him. And then I was starting to get into it, especially because a random person at the game store had given a stack of cards, I think all standard actually, to Michael and Sarah. And they took them home, and they were just sort of playing around with them, like, "Hey, look, you can have this card, and I'll have all the Pikachus, and you can have the Raichus," and stuff like that. They were arguing over it. Like, one afternoon, Sarah was in our room going, "Bubba gave me Raichu. I don't like Raichu. She's almost 4. Raichu's black. I like Pikachu. Pikachu's yellow." And we're like, "Sarah, we don't care. Get out of our room." And she's like, "I don't like Raichu." And we're like, "That's nice." Michael busts out of his room and goes, "Raichu's just an evolve of Pikachu." And she's like, "I don't like Raichu." And we're like, "Oh my gosh." And that was like 2 hours of them arguing about Raichu versus Pikachu.
That's funny.
So one day I found all the cards sitting on Sarah's floor, most of them bent up. And I was like, "No, I'm putting a stop to this." So I picked them up, I fixed them, and I bought sleeves and sleeved them all. And since then, I started to learn more. My friend Logan started to teach me more. I asked Logan, "What should I buy?" He told me, "Go buy this $20 deck that they sell in a box." And I realized, while Magic the Gathering sells pre-made decks that are hot garbage that you spend $20 on, Pokemon sells decks that are worth way more than what you're spending. All of us have played the game, so we understand that a good almost half of your deck is good trainer cards. In current Pokemon, those are the most expensive cards. It's the trainer cards that literally everyone's playing. It came with some top tier trainer cards, as well as some really decent Pokemon cards. Like it was Lugia EX, which dealt damage equal to like 20 times the amount of energy on both active Pokemon. So it's just boom. I was looking at my collection. I said to Logan, "I want to fix this deck up." And he said, "Okay, well, first off, these cards are not standard." I was like, "Why would they do that? Magic doesn't do that." And he said, "Well, they just do it to, for casual play." So we were spicing it up, and I was like, "Well, I want to put in this card and this card and this card." I won't go into specifics for people who haven't played the game, but essentially we made the deck really awesome, just with a few cards, including Raichu. And every time I play it, I'm like, "I don't like Raichu." So he was like, "Well, let's test it out against the deck that I finished building," and I beat him.
Really, yeah, Pokemon's not too hard to grab the concept of and be good at. It's just about making sure you don't make silly mistakes. And I've never done anything heavy like that, what you did, Joseph, with Pokemon. Mine's always been a very casual thing.
I play a lot of competitive Magic, so when I'm playing Pokemon, it's just laser focus.
Yeah.
No mistakes being done unless it's like, "Oh, I forgot that this interaction is a thing." Basically what my deck does, for anyone who knows anything about Pokemon, is I play a card that lets me have 8 Pokemon on my bench. I play a Pokemon that for 1 energy can search up 2 basics and put them on my bench. And I fill up my bench, and then I put out Raichu, who deals a ton of damage because my bench is full of 8 Pokemon. When I run out of Raichus, then I bring out my finisher. If at any point I run out of steam, I bring out a Pokemon that brings energy out of my discard pile and onto things that are in play. The end.
That's really good because energy always gets discarded when a Pokemon is fainted. Now the question is this one that gives 8, is that a stadium card?
It is a stadium card.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And what Malachi's talking about, for anyone who hasn't played Pokemon, but you have some sort of frame of reference like Magic, if you run out of energy, because when your Pokemon faint, then they go to the discard with their energy. If you run out of energy, you can't win. And there is very limited amount of energy that you put in your deck so that you don't draw energy when you want to draw other things. When I played against Logan most recent time, he goes, "Oh, I'm out of energy." If he has any left, they might be in his prize cards. So that's the card game. I'm having fun with it, and Michael really likes playing it, even though he gets salty because I keep beating him, but it's because I'm trying to tell him, like, you should do this and not this, and he argues with me. So, Pokemon, yay! Because when I played Pokemon Go this past summer, I knew nothing except what Pikachu was.
Joseph didn't grow up with the Pokemons.
I didn't. I really didn't. I was playing baseball. I was collecting baseball cards. I switched to soccer. I was really stinking good at soccer. And I was way into music and composing music. And I just did not have the exposure to card games and MMOs or RTSs or anything like that. Malachi, speaking of video games, you literally wanted to talk about Final Fantasy.
I just want to express my hype because I'm excited. It's a new expansion to the Final Fantasy XIV series called Stormblood. We get to enter a new continent, a new city called Dorma. So basically they're widening up the world, which is really cool. And they're adding something that Warcraft already had, which we're getting swimming in the game now, and we're going to be able to gather stuff underwater and have interactions underwater now.
Yeah, that's a cool feature in MMOs, is being able to actually go under the water, and not all of them have it.
Now it does. Final Fantasy XIV did not until this new expansion. We also are getting 2 new jobs, which I'm super excited about playing Samurai, which is coming out, and we also are getting Red Mage, which is going to be a mix between melee and casting, and they're both going to be damage-dealing classes. And we're entering looks like a very war-set theme of a story, to where we're dealing with big armies, big fights in this new one. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do with the game. And they're also changing up the battle system, how some of the skills are used in the game. They took away the cross-class skills and now made a role setting for skills. They added a nice indicators for each job to give you better information while playing it about key attacks for your job. It looks like they're going to do a lot of stuff, and it looks really fun. And I'm excited that it goes over smoothly and they didn't destroy anything.
It sounds really cool that they're going to expand the world in addition to, adding new features.
Well, it's not even adding new features. They're tweaking the skill system quite a bit, and they're adding a lot of stuff. Like, it's not like they're just changing a little. They're chunking stuff and getting rid of stuff completely. That's why I'm kind of nervous that they're going to mess with stuff too much, because like they're changing the healers' damage formulas. So instead of going off of damage for healers off of their intelligence, which there was a skill that swapped your mind with your intelligence, but they're going to make it actually go off of your mind instead this time. So they're doing a lot of tweaking. I know it doesn't mean much to you guys, but I'm stoked.
If I was in that situation, I'd be excited for the world expansion. Be like, what's this? What's this? What's over here?
Yeah, it's going to be an Eastern style theme. They're adding a whole new housing district. So I'm terrified about that too. There's going to be so much freaking rushing around and people shouting for sales of the new housing, because that's one of the problems that Final Fantasy XIV is suffering with right now, is the demand for houses. Because you can purchase a house that you can actually change the layout of it and decorate it and put all these fancy things in there and actually have NPCs that you put in there and all sorts of nifty things.
That reminds me of when I played Lord of the Rings Online. You could have a house for your character that was account-wide.
Yep.
And also, you could get a guild hall, basically. And I had a personal house that was a cute little elven house. Then I had a guild hall for the guild that I had founded, which lasted a long time. There was a giant, like a stone dais in the front. There was a fountain. There was all these decorations in the house. There were chests where I'd put stuff for like low-level members to come and get. Should we move on to movies and then get the flip out of here?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Malak Sky, are you ready?
Malachi.
I don't think Alex is there anymore.
I'm there.
Oh, okay.
He wants
I'm
to
ready.
talk about Spiderman, please.
I'm ready for Spider-Man Homecoming, which is going to be, if I read the date right, during RTX. So we're going to have to watch it when we get back, I guess.
Why?
Because
Why
no one's
just,
going to have
like,
time to go to the movies.
do events run all night? Like, can't you go,
We're
like,
going
after?
to be busy quite late,
Yeah.
and there are events later
Yeah.
in the evening.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, like, when you're on your downtime, you could go there and enjoy a movie together as the three of you.
But the thing is also where, because everyone's
That's
just sort of
true.
walking around on
Yes.
foot in downtown.
True.
The Alamo Draft House is on 6th Street. There is an Alamo Draft House on 6th Street, but it's going to be packed.
Yeah, I don't want to brave that. But yeah, you bring up a good point. I'm sure the Draft House will be doing it, and I'm sure that by the time we even think about going there early, there's going to be people outside. Yeah, and then Thor Ragnarok is going to be a few months later. I'm excited. I'm very excited because, okay, so everyone here has seen the Thor Ragnarok trailer, but the Spider-Man Homecoming trailers have been a little bit under the radar. I've seen them, but I don't think many other people have in this group. There was the teaser.
I think I've seen the teasers because I know that Iron Man's gonna be heavily involved with Spider-Man.
Yes, he is a big part of the plot, or at least he's a big part of the story, not the plot necessarily. He's there, and he's talking to Spider-Man, and he's all, "Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and don't do anything I would do." There's a small gray area in the middle there. There was the teaser where he's like fighting the guys with the masks, and they look like the Avengers, and like, "Hey, you're not the Avengers."
That was funny. I hate when they give funny stuff away like that. It would have been hilarious to see for the first time in theaters.
It still will be, because there's going to be something in there that we didn't get to see that's going to make it that much funnier.
True.
And then they had the trailer that showed like he had a crush and he had a best friend. And then they went a step further and they showed a trailer. He sneaks in on the ceiling and his friend looks up and goes, "Spider-Man?" And so now his friend knows that he's Spider-Man. And then they actually did a separate trailer. This is a really cool thing that Marvel's doing. Their international trailers are different from the US trailers. So the international trailer actually goes into more detail about the story and focuses less on setting up the stage. And it's more like, here's a bad guy doing this thing, Spider-Man's trying to help, the ship is falling apart, he's trying to keep the ship from falling apart with the webs, and he does the whole Tobey Maguire web thing. And then Iron Man suits come and push the ship together. So it's kind of cool. You get a different experience watching the international trailer. So that's going on. I'm excited. What about you guys? You think it'll compare to Tobey Maguire?
Tobey Maguire.
Which one's Tobey Maguire?
Tobey Maguire
original.
was the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films.
Oh, okay.
Before it went all emo, which, well, it was weird. I still wanted to see more because I like Tobey Maguire.
Gotcha.
But, I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I really enjoyed the kid that they got to play Spider-Man in Civil War.
I thought he was right along the alley of wanting Spider-Man to be young and a motor mouth and, like, awkward and everything. There was a cool thing that they had, I think, in the international trailer where Spider-Man's trying to vlog during Civil War. Like, when they're doing that big encounter where he's like, "Underoos," and he jumps up and gets the shield. He's, like, talking to his phone and goes, "Hey, this is so cool. He's going to tell me to jump up, and when I get my cue, I'm going to grab the shield." And a little bit later, he's like, "It was so cool." He said, "Underoos," and I jumped up. "Oh, I got to go." And, like, you can see in the background, Ant-Man is giant, and they're fighting Ant-Man in the background.
Can any of you guys see that really old movie, The Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah. I was going to say, I like the one Spider-Man they also had before this. The new one they came out with.
Didn't see it.
Yeah, and that was 2 movies, and that had someone from Alex's list.
My list of lists.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I shouldn't bring my list from episode 1 or 2. I guess it was episode 2.
It was 0 and 2.
So then there's those 2 movies, and now there's this new one. Okay. So
Spider-Man Homecoming is going to start its own little series of Spider-Man movies that are still owned by Sony, but he is canon with all the Disney Marvel films.
Okay. All right. I was just trying to make sure, like, I remembered which one you were talking about, because I did like the Spider-Man and the 2 that came after the Tobey Maguire. I did like some of the stuff they did with that. That's all I want to say.
So the only things we know about Thor Ragnarok currently is, let's see, Thor's hammer gets broken by Avril Lavigne, Cate Blanchett. Then she's, like, trying to take over while Thor is in exile. They shave his head, and Jeff Goldblum wants him to fight the Hulk. Like, is that pretty much all we know at this point?
Jeff Goldblum wants him to fight the Hulk.
I'm not wrong. It is Jeff Goldblum.
I know.
Now, he...
I like
as
Jeff
himself.
Goldblum.
He had
Yes, as himself. Jeff Goldblum walks in and says, "Hey, I'm famous actor Jeff Goldblum, and I need you to fight the Hulk."
He had this striking feel like the Collector when I seen him.
I mean, it shouldn't surprise me that they get Jeff Goldblum for it, considering they got Anthony Hopkins to play Odin.
True. Also, I don't think Goldblum would really... Well, it's true. I can't really say this because I know I'm right, but I don't feel like this is something Jeff Goldblum would say no to. And I'm right because we have the foreknowledge that he did say yes, but still, it seems like something Goldblum would be on board for.
It's been a while since we've seen Goldblum in a good film. I mean, he did the Independence Day Resurgence, which was a much better film than I expected it to be. Look, let me qualify that statement just now by saying I loved the first Independence Day film, but it was very
awesome.
But it was very campy. It was a super campy film. And I loved it for its camp. It was a fun film with a lot of silly lines by Goldblum and Will Smith doing all this crud. And then they said they were going to do Resurgence. And I'm like, I don't think they're going to be able to recapture the camp in that original film. And they didn't have Will Smith and all this stuff. And it started off pretty shaky with, reasons for not having Will Smith and all this other stuff. But it turned out really good because they embraced the fact that they weren't going to be able to recapture that original, natural response to this is the situation we're being handed. Okay. And they actually went into the direction of making it into a more serious science fiction film. And I enjoyed it a lot because of that.
Okay. I mean, if you enjoyed it, that's fine. I thought it was terrible, but luckily the 2 times that I saw it, both of the times in Austin during RTX, one was Master Pancake Theater, so of course I enjoyed it because Master Pancake Theater did it.
But did you see it uncut?
Yes, I saw it uncut because then after RTX, that Monday, after we cleaned out your trailer, or your little place.
Trailer.
whatever, your storage
unit.
I met up with my friend, and we went to see it because he wanted to see it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to warn you, it's really bad. He has this way of making a film that's even really crappy, really hilarious. And so I got to see it twice and actually enjoyed it because of how I was seeing it.
Mm-hmm. What did he do during your second screening that made the film good?
Pretty much, I would tell him, okay, so this is what... I would kind of, fill him in on what Master Pancake Theater did, and, he would just start, laughing maniacally, just, have little jabs in it. And at the end of the show, the people in front of us actually turned around and said, this would have been really bad if you weren't here. Basically jabbing and laughing at it. It would not have been as good.
It's called riffing. You can riff films.
Did I mention that I have a college student who has not seen Lord of the Rings?
That's
Are you going to watch it with him and
probably more
him?
Than one student, but yeah, he mentioned it, and his, I'm pretty sure, girlfriend now, and I made him watch the first 2 films, and we're going to make him watch the next one in a week or so. We sat there the whole time watching Fellowship of the Ring, just memeing it like it was college memes. The face you make when you realize finals is in 1 week and stuff like that. Or your first time walking into a college building and you're trying to figure out where you're trying to go. For context, the building where we have our music classes is 3 floors, but the building is, if you cut it in half, the floors would not line up. We had a good time memeing it the whole time. Commentary, So I wanted to say one thing. Yeah, riffing. I wanted to bring up something I saw on Facebook before we get to flip out of here that I thought was kind of funny. And for context, I really, really hate seeing Tumblr screenshots on Facebook because it defeats the purpose of not having a Tumblr account. But there was something funny that I saw. And it was someone who says, I want Terry Crews and Vin Diesel to do a buddy cop movie where they're both secret nerds, but they don't want the other to know. Vin Diesel plays D&D on weekends, and Terry likes to create epic crossover fan art. Somehow they have to work undercover at Comic-Con, and for whatever reason, I need Daniel Radcliffe to be the villain.
And someone wait.
Yeah, someone adds that they want Daniel Radcliffe to be himself, and someone else is like, no, Elijah Wood needs to play Daniel Radcliffe, and someone else goes, Elijah Wood is Daniel Radcliffe, and his sidekick is Elijah Wood, played by Daniel Radcliffe. And I was like, I love that. That'd be so cool.
It's so stupid.
It'd be so much like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where they do the final like Star Wars confrontation, and it's Mark Hamill.
Good night, everybody.
All right,
It's time to get the flip out of here.
Goodbye. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
So long, farewell.
Waiting on you, Alex.
Goodbye.
I'm waiting on Tristan.
You're supposed to hashtag.
Hashtag goodbye.
Goodbye.
Naked chicken chips at Taco Bell are amazing.
They're just chicken
Okay,
nuggets.
Easy. It's
It is,
Pokesore.
except that it's crispy, and also they serve it with cheese, and you have it with cheese and go, I never knew that I wanted chicken nuggets with cheese before.
Oh, with nacho
Are you
cheese?
talking about Taco Bell chicken chips? I had them the other day. I was like, I'm not doing this again.
Was it like nacho
Well, you
cheese?
know, yeah, it's nacho cheese. You know, Taco Bell quality does vary from store to store, while the average is bad.
This wasn't a quality thing. This was just this is not good for my health. I'm not doing it.
Player 4 with your friends.